What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to break down what's going on with the overall market and how this may affect NIO, what's happening with many different companies out there, and how they could actually dictate or be dictated by the debt ceiling. I'm going to break down what's happening with the news affecting NIO moving forward. So now, before I break anything down about what's going on with NIO's technicals and also talk about SPY and the QQQ and Tesla and many other stocks out there, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NEO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000. And the best part is any could be a free NIO share, a free Tesla share, or a mix of all of them. The offer ends very, very soon, so check it out before they run out. The link is down below in the description. And anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with NIO. NIO is down almost 10% for the day, and this is just not like a normal move. There's obviously a lot of manipulation that played a big role in this happening, and the reason this happened is because XPeng reported earnings, and the entire EV sector, especially on the Chinese side, began to sink. There was also some negative news involving China, China potentially hacking something very important in America. I'm not going to go into more details about it because once again, it's very contentious. I don't want to, cause any alarms or anything like that. But the bottom line is, right, there is bad news involving China, and I really don't like to hear the things that I've heard involving hacking. I want people to stay at peace and mind their own business, if anything. And on top of that, you have to mention that Xpeng had some pretty bad earnings moving forward. They missed on many expectations. They had a larger Q1 loss than anticipated. And as a result, we saw a lot of selling for the EV market, especially for consumer discretionaries and many Chinese EVs in general. And this brought NIO down. It also brought Xpeng down. A lot of companies took these massive hits. But now let's break down why on earth NIO is very, very oversold and why it's likely going to try to get a bounce and why this is just not natural. But first, let's talk about the markets. SPY has a lot of options expiring for Friday, over 900 or like almost 900,000 puts expiring on Friday, and about under 400,000 calls expiring with a 2.3 put to call ratio. Now, the FOMC minutes came out today. They were pretty okay, not too horrible, not too great. They basically stated that the Fed officials are less confident on the need for more rate hikes, but they did mention that they don't plan on cutting rates until 2024. That's different from what the bonds market is anticipating. Now, to add on to this, let me just note that we have initial jobless claims right now. They're coming out tomorrow. We have Nvidia's earnings coming out very, very soon, and all of this will affect how the whole market moves. On top of that, we have the Fed speakers coming out for tomorrow. We have Collins speaking, and then we have the GDP numbers right before the market opens too. So before the market opens, we have initial jobless claims and the GDP numbers. They're going to affect how the market moves. And then on top of that, we have some more news coming out involving the debt ceiling. So for the debt ceiling, Biden and McCarthy have stated that progress is being made. Their meetings have been productive, but there's still a lot of work to be done. I, however, believe that they're going to come to an agreement as soon as Friday and maybe make the announcement. And I think that once the announcement comes out on Friday, this will really impact the markets. That's at least what my guess would be. I don't know for sure, but if that happens, a lot of these bullish signals for the markets could start to play out for the short term. Now, NIO dropped on very high volume. There's a ton of selling. It's very, very oversold. And when stocks fall this hard, they tend to get bounces later on. Short volume did drop just a little bit, so that's because there's a lot of volume. But it's likely going to go up once the data comes out for today. And then price-price ratio is probably going to sink because of this. And you can see right here, lots of selling pressure at this $8 level. Insane selling pressure. And the intraday volume, this is the net intraday volume, was very high right over there. So lots of selling pressure. For Thursday, NIO tends to be green about 51% of the time. For Fridays, 53% of the time. And June tends to be a better month or not so great month compared to May for NIO. So please be concerned, or at least very, very well aware of that. We tend to do better during the fourth and then during the 6th hours of the day in terms of an hourly seasonality. And last but not least, we have about almost 9 million NIO shares shorted for the short interest. So it's all very important to note. Now let's talk about how on earth NIO can move moving forward. NIO is very, very oversold, and there's no true confirmation of it bouncing just yet. We can't say that yet, but it did bounce off 7.72 and it's trying to make its way up. If NIO could break above $8 and hold it, if it holds above $8 very soon, that's going to be some more strength that is developing. And if it breaks above 7.9 to $8 going into like 8.1, if it just holds this level and breaks it, it's going to likely start to make an attempt to fill this gap and make its way up again. What else is interesting is we have some very bullish signals on SPY. There's a bullish divergence on the very short time frame that has been developing. We also have two gaps above that could get filled if we get some kind of good announcement by Friday involving the debt ceiling. And I think the odds favor that. Uh, Technicals are looking stronger, but there's no confirmation yet, so we have to wait. We're very close to where support is around this 409 to 410 zone, and we are just chopping around. So I'm going to be anticipating some choppy price action, but if we break 412.5, we could get a bounce to 414. I do think the odds favor that over the next 2 days. I'm leaning more bullish, but we need confirmation first, despite these bullish signals. Tsla is likely going to get a push up to the mid 180s. It's gaining lots of strength, and I believe that it has the potential to continue pushing to get to the mid 180s, where it's going to trade sideways from there. For the QQQ, same thing. It's going to likely bounce and make its way up to 333. Fill this gap up here. It's making an attempt to do so, and I think it has another shot of achieving it tomorrow. It's either going to trade sideways or push up to fill the gap. Both of those could help the markets. This is also going to depend heavily on NVIDIA. Let's see. I think NVIDIA's earnings is coming up very soon. It's up 14% already, so it's exploding right now. Let me pull up the extended hours for you guys just to show you. It's up to 350. That's insane. But remember, we have to wait for guidance, and also if you are playing options, you have to wait for the IV crush. You have to wait for what else happens. Be very careful on those options. But for NIO, let me just note that NIO is likely going to try to make an attempt to bounce. It's going to try to get back above $8 tomorrow. I think it's very, very oversold. It's trying to make its way up, and it's very likely that this is very likely to push up even higher. I also think that NIO is going to make its way up to fill the gap. It has the potential bullish signal developing right here. Let me just go a little further back just to see if there's confirmation of it. So we have a bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame with the extended hours, not without them, but with the extended hours, you can see right here, the price made a higher low, but the RSI made a lower low, so did the MECD. So what that tells us is, excuse me, if NIO gets the bounce, if we hold this low and we bounce from here, it's most likely going to make its way up to where these imbalances are. So like right here and also up here, like this 8.5, there's also like the 8.2 area. It's going to make its way up most likely. We have to hold 7.72 and maintain this bullish divergence. We need confirmation first. But for now, it has the bullish divergence on the extended hours. So the odds favor NIO trying to make its way back up, getting closer to like $9 ultimately over the next couple of trading days. I think that the debt ceiling could play a big role if an agreement is announced on Friday. And I am looking for a bounce on NIO very, very soon. For tomorrow specifically, I just want to see it hold above $8 and then retest 8.2. I'm leaning more in that direction, and that's basically what I have for this video. All right, guys, so thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. I have some merch for you guys around the comment section if you're willing to buy anything, if you're interested in looking. It should be very close to where the comment section is. It would help support the channel. And also don't forget about the Webull link. I'm going to leave it at the top comment for the channel. And also it's going to be in the description. All right, so check out the Webull link, deposit any amount of money, and you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks worth up to $3,000 each. Don't forget about potential bounces, but also be very careful with the debt ceiling. But for now, the market's looking better. It's liking what NVIDIA is doing. So let's just remain calm, collected, and then remain very, very optimistic. Thank you for listening. The market to the moon as the long term is still incredibly bright. Same thing with NIO, and peace out.